No, that's not him. The hairline was higher.
Like that, perhaps?
No, it was more... Can't you just let me have a go at it?
Sure. Look, here are the various chin shapes and eyebrows and so on.
Yeah, I was watching you. I get the idea, okay?
You can change things using the arrows. When you're happy with it, click on save and...
Alright, I've got it.
Okay. Let me know when you're finished.
Okay. The quicker the police find this guy, the quicker I can help Angelina. What did he look like again?
So?
That's him. The guy that followed me and Angelina looked like that.
I don't know him. Perhaps a tourist. You also said he spoke with an accent.
Exactly. What now?
We'll post the pictures around town and invite the gentleman in for a talk.
And Angelina?
Yes, well, she's...
Oh, Angelina!
Darren! It wasn't me! You've got to get me out of here. They want to pin this on me!
I know, but we'll get this sorted out.
They want to charge me this afternoon! You've got to somehow...
Come on, Miss Morgan.
Darren!
I'll get you out of here. I'll think of something.
Come on, Darren.
Leave me alone. I'm gonna find out what's going on here. She is innocent. What was her motive?
That's the thing. We don't know.
Look, others had a motive. Fuller blackmailed people.
Is that so?
Mrs. Biba from the diner, she paid Fuller. Lots of money.
How do you know that?
Is that important? She had a motive. And what about that guy? He was at Fuller's yesterday.
We didn't find any money in Fuller's store, and this gentleman's a witness. Nothing else. As far as the alleged blackmailing is concerned, have you any evidence?
Evidence? Ask Mrs. Biba.
And she's gonna tell us if she was blackmailed by Fuller?
She put her under pressure.
Based on your speculation? No, that's not enough. We need evidence. Or at least something that would suggest blackmail before we can move on it. And until then, our only suspect is over there behind bars.
Fine, then I'll get a hold of the evidence. Where do I start? I need evidence that Fuller was a blackmailer. But what did he blackmail Mrs. Biba with? And was it just her or were there others? I bet the secret door in his basement has something to do with it. But how do I open it? Has Fuller still got the key on him? I've got to find out. What piss-awful weather. Suppose it's fitting somehow. Clues in the trash, huh? It's worth a try. Oh, man, that stinks. So, what have we got here? Trash bags with leftovers, packaging, paper towels, and... Hey, some torn up pieces of paper. That really might be interesting. Those are the paper snippets out of the trash can at the diner. Let's see if I can put them back together. Yeah, I think it's a letter from Fuller to Mrs. Biber. Maybe even the one I stuck in her hand yesterday? Dearest Claire, I'm a little disappointed that you don't
come to visit me anymore. Don't you miss our time together at all? All the fun we had? Take a look at the pictures. You look so happy and contented. Don't you think so too? I tell you, that was some kind of fun we had too. And you just can't bring yourself to admit it. Are you worried about it getting out? Well, it would be too embarrassing, wouldn't it? A married businesswoman has to watch her reputation. What would the folks say? What would your husband do with you? It would be a scandal. But I'll protect you from it. Me and 15 Ben Franklin stand between you and shame. I'll expect the, bonus this evening. Bring it to me, and I'll enjoy myself with your pictures for a few more weeks. F.
That's at least evidence that Fuller was blackmailing Mrs. Biber. 15 Ben Franklins is $1,500. But is that gonna be enough for the cops? They're gonna ask her what he was blackmailing her with. And if they ask her, Biber will deny everything. I've gotta find out what Fuller was using to blackmail her. And I'm sure that the answer is behind that secret door. Mrs. Biber? So where was your husband last night?
Yeah, and what's that got to do with you?
What's that with him and Fuller?
I'm asking you.
This weird guy, the one who bumped into me yesterday, have you seen him again?
The guy from yesterday? Sure, I think I'd remember him.
This guy.
Oh, him. Nope. I haven't seen him again since he was in here questioning me.
What did he want?
He was asking after Miss, so-and-so.
Miss Angelina Morgan?
Could be.
And you haven't seen him again?
Nope.
Will you tell me if you do?
Maybe.
So friendly. What's happened to your eye? Let me guess, you fell down the stairs.
Yes.
And your husband was standing at the bottom doing his boxing training.
What's this got to do with you?
I just don't understand it. How often does this happen?
Not often. Just sometimes.
Maybe you ought to move to a bungalow without stairs.
Yeah, you think you can give me advice? You married?
You trade in your pride when you do that?
You've never been in love. If you had, you'd never ask that. Okay, what do you want to drink?
Is it too early for a whiskey? What do you think? Psst, Mrs. Biber.
Yes, what can I get you?
Haven't you heard what's happened to Fuller?
Yes. But I don't want to talk about it.
Why not? You hated him. Maybe your life will be a bit easier now without him around anymore.
How can you say that? He's been murdered. You're making it look like I wanted that to happen to him.
Did you then?
No.
After everything he did to you?
What do you know about that?
Oh, a little.
Nothing. You don't know a thing. And if there is anything, you save it for yourself.
Or what? The same thing that happened to Fuller will happen to me?
Get out.
Sorry, Mrs. Biber? A girl I know is being suspected of having killed Fuller.
I'm sorry about that.
Yes, she was lured into a trap. She has no motive. She also wasn't being blackmailed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Was Fuller blackmailing anyone else? Did anyone else have a motive apart from you?
Oh, you got nerve. I wasn't being blackmailed. Listen, I'm sorry about what happened to your friend. But if she's not guilty, then she won't be held for long now, will she? And I don't know anything about blackmail.
Huh. So you don't want to help me get an innocent girl out of jail?
I can't.
Sorry, Mrs. Biber? So, are 15 Ben Franklins enough of a motive for murder?
What?
The $1,500 you had to pay Fuller.
Get out of here. You just can't. You don't.
Have any evidence? Could be I do. It's about time the truth got shook out.
I didn't murder Fuller.
Where were you when it happened?
So now you're a cop.
Would you prefer it if I go to the cops on this?
I was at home
Alone?
with my husband.
I believe you. That shiner you have there says it all. Dr. Newhouse from the hospital. Oh, excuse me, the health center. Excuse me, Dr. Newhouse.
Hello, yes?
What can you tell me about Mrs. Biba? And do you know her husband?
Oh, well. Now, a person shouldn't speak ill of others, but her husband, he's a very unpleasant fellow. He was a big deal in the football team at high school, and Mrs. Biba married him young. Yes, I think she imagined her life turning out some other way.
Like how?
Now, she works hard in the diner. She probably does the work of about 3 people, but I don't think it makes a great deal of money. And her husband, well, let's leave it at that. They certainly don't have a lot of money, just a lot of work. And no love.
Uh-huh. So, a crazy good time guy like yourself can surely tell me where all the action is. Here in Biddeford?
Dear me, no. You got me wrong there. I could perhaps give you a few tips on which are the most interesting evening courses at the community center.
No thanks. I'll pass on that one.
I thought you might. Hey, we do put on a disco for young folks every 2 weeks. But I suspect you've rather grown out of all that too.
I don't think I was ever that age. Discos, bars, parties. I was never into that sort of thing.
Your mother mentioned that. You were rather more of a loner, yes?
I've no idea where she got that from.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't intend to.
So, to sum up then, in Biddeford, you're best off being over 50 or dead. Might just suit me.
What? Being over 50?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know how my mother is? Or should I ask someone in the hospital?
I've already seen your mother today, Darren. No change. And I think we ought to take that as a good sign.
Are there good medical reasons for thinking that? Or is that just wishful thinking?
Optimism never hurts.
So it's just wishful thinking then.
Darren.
Thanks, Doc. Have you ever seen this guy? He was in the hospital yesterday.
In the hospital? I don't think I saw him. Why did you ask the nursing sister?
He was here in the diner, too.
Huh. That's right. I think he was talking to Mrs. Biba.
Did you notice anything else?
Afraid not.
So how was old Fuller killed then?
Oh, I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you anything. They're still investigating.
What? You think I'd tell the press? I did used to work for him, and I'd like to know what happened.
Well, okay then. He was stabbed.
And more exactly?
He was stabbed nearly a dozen times. Not a nice sight.
Did he bleed to death?
Not necessarily. Could have been shock. Could well have been that some vital organs were injured.
Huh. So looks like Fuller had a pretty free choice of how he checked out. Somebody wanted to cover all the bases for him.
Darren, you really shouldn't speak of the dead like that.
I'm not interested in the dead. I'm interested in the murderer. As I understand it, there's also a department in the health center for the less mobile. A morgue.
Yes, that's right. This is a small town. We doctors at the health center are also responsible for checking corpses.
So don't you have to have special training for that?
If there's even just the slightest sign of a crime, then we get an experienced pathologist over from Portland.
So that means that Fuller still hasn't been looked at.
Right now, we're waiting for the pathologist. We've only prepared him.
Do the nurses sometimes stick their fingers in the deceased's personal effects?
Outrageous! Of course not. These things are properly stored away in the morgue as they should be.
Thank you. So, are the cops in Biddeford any good?
How do you mean that?
Do you trust them to find the killer?
I'm sure they'll do their best.
Oh, right.
We've never had a case like this before.
Oh, so you don't reckon it's such a bad thing if they've got the wrong person, since they still have to practice?
I'm sure that the captain will solve the case.
Well, that's it for now, I guess.
If you've got any more things you want to ask, just come and find me.
I should have guessed. The police have sealed the door. I've got to find another way. The window is barred. The bars seem pretty strong and are bricked into the wall. Yep, that could be my way into the house. I can get into the basement through the light well. I've just got to get rid of this grill first. It looks very heavy and it's rusted into the concrete. I'll tie the rope to the window grill and the basement grill. Hey, if it worked in ancient Egypt, it should work here. My private doorway to Fuller's realm. Beaten by a centuries-old technique. Shame on you. Fuller's secret door is behind this photographic screen. But it could cause some trouble with the cops if I bust it. There has to be some kind of a knack to getting the clips to open. That's a castle somewhere in Europe. Disney used it as the model for his Cinderella castle. The Great Wall of China, the largest man-made structure in the world. It's a few thousand miles long, but despite what they say, it can't be seen from space with the naked eye. Monument Valley in Utah. Obviously the Wild West ever since John Ford made those films of his. Now, where's John Wayne riding his stallion into the sunset? The Sphinx and the Great Pyramid of Cheops in the background, both of them near Cairo. The pyramids are the oldest of the 7 wonders of the world, the only one which still exists. What have we got here? The US, Hawaii, something illegible, and Europe. Fuller smeared half of it with his filthy paws. A greasy map of the world. My World Tour is written next to it. A few places are marked. The USA around Utah, Arizona, then over to Hawaii. Afterwards comes North Africa, possibly Egypt, then China, and then Europe. Looks like somewhere in Germany. That's got it. The clips are off and the screen's gone up. Battered-looking numeric pad with small metal buttons. I guess that you have to enter a code to open the door. When you stand here, it feels like what? Something like when you see in the dock and he has you stand on a set of mechanical weighing scales. Everything slides slightly back and forth. The floor gives a little as you stand on it. Could it really be a set of scales? Would that fit in with a secret door? Aha, I knew it. If it really is a kind of scale, then it could measure Fuller's weight while he tapped in the secret number into this pad, and the door would only open when the two matched. Pretty well thought through for sure. For me, there's the problem that I have no idea how heavy Fuller is. I've got to find that out if I want to make progress here. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Michaels. What can I do for you?
How's my mother today?
No change. Her vital signs are all okay, but she is still comatose like before.
So we can only wait.
It looks that way.
Has the guy who inquired about my mother been here again?
No, at least not on my shift.
And please, can you tell the other nurses that they should keep an eye out for this guy? The police are looking for him.
I know. The police faxed through a photo fit picture.
Good. You heard what happened to Fuller?
Oh, yes. Beatrix told me. They brought him in here this morning, covered in blood.
Did you know Fuller?
Not personally.
What do you mean by that?
I'd heard of him. Okay, listen. I'll tell you. As a woman, it wasn't an especially good idea to have your picture taken by him.
Why not?
He was a creep. And was not supposed to be able to keep his hands to himself. That sort of thing gets around, of course.
Thanks very much for the information.
No problem.
There's a delivery note for liquid soap. I can't take anything. The nurse will notice.
Excuse me. This area is only for staff. You're not allowed in there.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't know that. got to distract the nurse somehow. She won't let me in there.
Excuse me. This area is only for staff. You're not allowed in there.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't know that. I've got to distract the nurse somehow. She won't let me in there. There are a few cables hanging down the side of the unit, mostly to the sensors attached to my mother. The machine only monitors my mom's vital functions, so it doesn't matter if I loosen a cable here. Perhaps the delivery note will be of use. I'll take it.
Yes.
Hello.
Are you delivering something?
Yes.
Delivery note? Whatever.
I'll be off then.
Hey, not so fast. What you delivering then?
Liquid soap?
So, where is it?
Huh?
Where is the package?
Oh, what a klutz. I left it in the car.
Man, unbelievable. In my day, I wouldn't have never gotten away with that kind of thing.
Oh, no. Does that mean I'll never be able to become a security guy now? I'll get the box. An empty package. Looks like someone's unpacked the shipment here and left the packaging. Some people.
Yes.
Hello.
Are you delivering something?
Yes.
Delivery note? Whatever. The package?
I've got it here.
Okay.
Can I go in now?
No, you can't. Where's your pass?
My what?
Your visitor's pass? You have to get a visitor's pass back there.
Oh, come on. What is this garbage? I just want to take my package to the mortuary.
And you need a pass to do that.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
You could say so.
I'd think about that if I were you. Dr. Newhouse?
Yes?
What's that ID you're wearing there?
It's from the hospital.
Don't they know you're a doctor there? They can't have that many staff.
I said the same thing to the admin people. But Dick, the security guard, insists on it. He's very meticulous, and apparently can't recognize faces.
Can you tell me something about the security guy at the hospital? I find him kind of interesting.
He used to be a police officer. He was, There were a few problems. So, when he couldn't be a police officer anymore, he became a security guard. Where do you know him from?
He was in the diner yesterday.
Oh, right. But strange as it may seem, I believe he lives for his job.
He lives for that? Being a security guy.
He takes his job very seriously. Sometimes too seriously.
Well, that's it for now, I guess.
If you've got any more things you want to ask, just come and find me.
Psst, Mrs. Biber.
Yes, what can I get you?
Hey, can I get a pot of coffee?
On its way.
Hot.
Oh man, sorry. It was an accident. Sorry.
It's all right. Your thoughts are elsewhere.
Oh, give it here, Dr. Newhouse. I'll rinse out the stain.
Thanks.
No harm meant.
No damage. I just gotta keep it cool.
Now that's what I call a serious coffee stain. And the ID badge is still pinned to the lab coat. So now I've got some ID. Excellent. The security guy at the morgue surely won't expect it that closely.
Yes.
Hello.
Are you delivering something?
Yes.
Delivery note. Whatever. The package?
I've got it here.
Okay.
Can I go in now? I've got a pass as well.
All right then. You could go in.